They play mother and daughter in a movie that would not be called the feel-good movie of the year. They are co-starring in Before I Fall. Joining me right now, Jennifer-Beals and Zoey Deutsch. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
I'm pretty confident that I am not exaggerating what I just said about Before I Fall. What drew both of you to your particular roles in this film?
Well, I mean, Sam Kingston it's a great part. It felt like when I got it, it was like this gift, and then I opened it, and it was just the gift that kept on giving. I was like, oh, there's that in there, and that, okay. You know, it was so wonderful to be able to portray a young woman and show so many different facets of her personality and life, and not just that she is a walking contradiction of herself, like any human. We're all capable of good and bad and everything in between, and I love her, and I love this story, and I feel very proud, honestly very proud of the movie.
What about you, Jennifer?
And for me, when I heard about the story, I loved the theme so much, and even though it was a really small part, I thought to myself, I want to be part of this story. I want to be part of this process, and sign me up. I'm happy to do whatever it takes.
Okay, the plot. All right, I'm gonna reference the 800-pound groundhog in the room, because there is a slight similarity to that particular classic comedy in terms of reliving a day. But that's where the comparisons end, right?
Yeah. It's pretty cool because it's very unique in the sense that I don't know another movie that's like it, and it is it's very deep and thought-provoking, and I think a lot of people, we went to Sundance with the film, and the reaction was really interesting because most of the people viewing it at the festival were not teenage girls, and they were leaving the screening weeping, and I saw them picking up trash in the theater that wasn't theirs, and coming up to me and sort of shyly being like, I know I'm a 50-year-old man, and I just wanted to say it made me want to be a better person, gotta go, bye. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a good reaction. So I think it's really pretty amazing how universal and deep it is.
Yeah.
Well, Jennifer,
because any day of your life, you can change the rest of your life, I think, and that's such a powerful message to tell anybody, no matter what their age, and I think that's why it's appealing to such a large audience.
Well, you, Jennifer, you mentioned that's a small part, but it's a very compelling part. It has to be a very nuanced part for you, too, because you are playing the mother of someone who's going through something that no one else is aware she's going through and rediscovering herself in new ways every day. As a parent of 3, it was just compelling just to see how you handle that in one child, let alone more than one child.
Right, right. Well, and it's also, you know, it's hard. It's hard when you see your child going in the wrong direction, and how do you help them? And at a certain point, you know, they have to come to it on their own. You can guide them as much as you can, but whether or not they hear you, you don't know. But you have to keep trying, and I think that's what love does. You keep trying no matter what, and you keep loving them no matter what.
And the way that we shot this movie, because it is a time loop, that we had to shoot every scene pretty much 6 times, and a lot of the times in non-sequential day order, so 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it was such a gift to be able to work with you, and you're not just you're just an amazing actor, but also you're so present. And this movie was very hard for me to stay present because I'm thinking about so many different days and colors and trigger things, and it was just a gift.
Oh, you're sweet.
Such a present person in real life and as an artist as well, just like locked in there.
Oh, you're sweet.
Awesome.
But I didn't have that workload that you had. Like, I could be that person for you, as a mother would be for their child, because I didn't have the kind of workload that you had. I mean, what you did was incredible. Sorry, we're like, hey, hi.
By the way, Tracy, how are you?
I love you. And we have a tie for Miss Congeniality today. Zoey, Jennifer, congratulations on making a film that is truly almost like no other. Congratulations. The movie opens up this Friday, March 3rd. Thank you, ladies. Congrats.
Thank you, Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
Amber, it's a pleasure to work with you.
It's
a pleasure to work with you.
What if you had only one day to change absolutely everything? That's the premise behind the film Before I Fall, based on the best-selling novel by Lauren Oliver. Here to tell us more about this film, 2 of the stars, Zoey Deutsch and Jennifer-Beals. Good morning, ladies. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Hello.
We're doing so well. We're doing jazz hands. Zoey's drinking lots of coffee. It's all good.
I love your energy.
No, I'm not.
Okay, so let's talk about this movie. It feels a little Groundhog's Day-ish. So for the folks out there who have not read the book, tell us about the story.
Sure, it's about a young girl named Sam Kingston who relives the last day of her life over and over again until she learns how to right her wrongs, how to be kind to herself and kind to others.
So what drew you to these She's kind of running with a sort of a mean girl crowd.
Yeah,
she's running with kind of a mean girl crowd. They're not exactly a great group of, you know, the behavior's not great.
She's
Let me just say that.
Disastrously following the rules of her popular group at school without sort of reflecting or being conscious of what an effect this has on people. And over the course of the film, she learns how to become who she is, how to not let her flaws define her. You know, it's really interesting because the film starts out and she's, in a lot of people's eyes, perhaps not the most likable. She is a bully, and then you come to realize she's bullied as well. She's not a hero or villain. She's a real human, and everybody's a walking contradiction of themselves in a lot of ways.
And someone we can relate to, someone that's very real. All right, so shooting a film like this, where there are a lot of repetitions, that had to be difficult. How did you manage to keep it all straight in your head?
I think the few weeks prior to shooting of preparation with Rai Russo-Young, the wonderful director of Before I Fall, was key in terms of feeling confident or somewhat confident on the day. Just because the irony of shooting a movie about not having enough time is that we really didn't have enough time while we were shooting. It was a small independent film, which is so cool that it's getting this big wide release and so many people are loving it and seeing it March 3rd. But it was definitely an exciting challenge, but daunting at times because we would shoot it in non-sequential day order and shoot every scene 6 times, and it was difficult, but fun.
And Zoe is amazing. She's amazing in the movie, and to understand that kind of challenge, it's really like, you know, doing a Rubik's Cube, because to keep everything in order of where you are emotionally, where you are structurally in the plot, to keep all of those things together is you know, it's really quite a challenge, and she's done an incredible job, really beautiful job.
So what do you hope is the takeaway from this film, this independent film?
I want people to go to the film with someone that they love, and I want them at the end of the film to feel the need to grab that person's hand and tell them that they love them. That is at the core of this film, what it does. It makes you just want to appreciate your life and the people in your life that much more.
And I think I would love people to realize that any moment of any day, you can change the rest of your life. And I think that's one of the things about the film that makes it applicable not only to a teenage audience, but to an audience of any age, really.
That's a powerful message. Thank you both for joining us this morning. I'll plug it again. March 3rd, the film opens worldwide. Go see Before I Fall. Thanks, ladies.
March 3rd.
Oh, you're doing
That's a 3.
This is a 3.
Or a 3.
This is a 3.
We love you. Thank you, Michelle.
3.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Oh my gosh, Baskin-Robbins, Lord, there were times that sometimes I would get so down, like I couldn't, you know, I'm a teenager and I'm in Baskin-Robbins and it's like 11 o'clock at night and I'm basically just getting people, one person after the next, who's stoned, who wants more ice cream. And I remember sometimes just going into the little storage room and opening a huge gallon of like peanut butter ice cream and just sitting down there and eating the ice cream. It's terrible. I probably shouldn't admit that. Well, the film is really about this young girl, Sam Kingston, who's played so beautifully by Zoey Deutsch, and Sam is my character's daughter, and she's it's kind of has this Groundhog Day, mean girl kind of feeling in a way, where she's part of this mean girl group. And she has to relive the last day of her life over and over again until she gets it right. And so that's the structure of the film. But you know, the way Zoey has played it, it's just an extraordinary journey of watching this young girl realize that her flaws don't define her. And you start to realize during the film that any moment of any day in your life, you can change the rest of your life. And I think that theme is applicable not only when you're an adolescent, but, you know, when you're 20, 30, 40, until the day you die, really. So the film shouldn't just be shown the first day of high school, it should be shown the first day of work or at any given time to remind you of really what's important, and that's, you know, taking care of one another. That's funny. I didn't really think about that connection. Yeah, I had, after Flashdance, I had been offered Pretty in Pink, and I'm really glad that I didn't take it because Molly Ringwald was so beautiful in the film and just so perfect for the part, and it was meant to be. But it's funny how this all came around, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, that's funny that you bring that up. Well, there was a stunt in the show. It's in the second episode, and this car flips over, and I had to get out of the car, and I was told that the top of the car will be on fire, but there will be no fire inside the car. And then I run around, and I'm supposed to pull this other character out of the car. And so I checked the fire on the top of the car, and they told me there's nothing inside. And so we start to go through the take, and I'm, you know, acting with this other person, and the inside of the car, it goes up in flames. And the flames are licking this person's thigh and next to their head, and it's just terrifying. And what was so funny, it's funny that it makes me think of it, I was so enraged. I was so enraged and so adrenalized that I pulled them very quickly out of the car. They started screaming. I basically started swearing and became completely adrenalized and pulled them out of the car really quickly. And so I realized actually in that moment, I was adrenalized by trying to help the person, but I was also enraged that this happened and that they would have to go through that. And I was so worried for them. I was just incredibly worried, and it turned out they were okay, and everything was fine. Certainly we didn't do that stunt again. But it's just, you know, you want to try to be as helpful as you can, whether you're motivated by anger, whether you're motivated by complete and utter devotion and love. Like you want to, you know, you want to take care of the person next to you and beyond. You realize at that moment, how precious human life is, how precious, and you must never, ever, ever take it for granted what you have the opportunity to do.
Do you think I'm a good person?
It doesn't matter what I think. What's important is what you think.
What if you had one day to change absolutely everything? It happens to one girl in the movie Before I Fall. It's due out in theaters this weekend. Joining us this morning, Jennifer-Beals and Zoey Deutsch. Zoey, you are the girl in the movie. You're the one who gets this chance to do everything all over. What happens, and why do you get this opportunity?
You know, that's an interesting question, and I think it's for the audience to determine why Sam is the one that relives her last day of her life over and over again, and why other people aren't experiencing this sort of meditation on time and life and love in the way that she is. But yeah, I mean, it's a movie that I'm super proud of because it's about learning how to be kind to yourself, about learning how to be kind to others, about taking responsibility for your actions and not letting your flaws define you. There are so many amazing messages throughout the film, and it's been fun for me to get to talk to people that are seeing it and going to screenings and them telling me what their takeaway is.
Rob?
What?
I'm freaking out.
Are you in trouble? You can trust me.
There's also the theme that at any moment in your life, you can change the rest of your life. And that's applicable, you know, whether you're 18 or 20 or 30, 40, 50, until the day you die. And I think that's a really exciting message.
What happened last night?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, Jennifer, you play Zoe's character's mother in the movie, and this movie isn't out yet. It has a huge following though already, mainly because this book is the movie is based on a book, a best-selling book. So does that put extra pressure on you guys as actresses?
Well, I think you take in the responsibility, but you have to be authentic. For me, I had to be authentic to the script, you know, and I think Maria Magenti wrote a really beautiful script that is very respectful of the book.
This whole high school thing, just a blip.
Zoe, your mom's an actress, your father a director, grew up in Hollywood all around you. It sounds like you were destined to become an actress. Is that what you always wanted, or did you want to do something else for a time?
I am an actress. I feel like I'm lucky to have, lucky to feel like this is my purpose, and it always has felt that way. But there are a lot of other things I want to do as well. I want to do so much, and I love my job. I really do. I feel very lucky to be an actor.
Yeah, and
she'd be a great writer. She'd be a great director. This woman can do whatever she wants to do.
Sky is the limit. Jennifer, you were in the movie Flashdance, and I was so surprised when I was looking on the internet. I Googled you, and I was reading that you actually had turned down some offers to appear on some reality dance competitions, and you said, "I'm not a dancer." If they asked me, I would say no. Even if they, I think it said, backed up a truck of money, of cash to my door, I still wouldn't do it. Really?
Well, I think I had asked for peace in the Middle East and the cure to cancer, and then we could start the negotiation.
Okay, I like that.
Yes!
It's too stressful. I've had friends who've done those shows, and it's too, God bless, it's way too stressful.
Yeah, way too much stress.
It's not something that I really want to experience.
Well,
I'll just dance in my living room, and that's just fine.
Thank you, ladies. Appreciate you joining us this morning.
Thank you, Lauren. Have a nice day.
Before I Fall hits theaters this weekend.
Truck. Watch out for the truck. What truck?
Before I Fall tells the story of a young girl who is in a terrible accident and wakes up to relive that fateful day over and over again. We're joined by the film stars Zoey Deutsch and Jennifer-Beals this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So this is based off of a best-selling book, but for people who haven't read that, what is so unique about this film and what is it about?
Well, this is a film about a young girl that relives the last day of her life over and over again, sort of a la Groundhog's Day, until she learns how to right her wrongs. And it's about this girl that learns how to not let her flaws define her, and learns how to be kind to herself and other people and not take her life for granted. It's an extremely thought-provoking film.
What was it
and
like?
She kind of starts out in the Mean Girl crowd. She kind of starts out in the Mean Girl crowd a little bit. I mean, she stays there because she's reliving that day, but you know, she's not always conscious of how this clique's actions are affecting other people, and through the course of the film, I think she becomes more aware of not only her actions but the actions of the group, and makes an effort to change her behavior.
Yeah, when I watched some of the clips of the movie and the promos for it, it reminded me of, like you said, like Groundhog Day and Mean Girls, and it was giving me flashbacks to high school, and it has a lot of messages in this movie. Talk about some of those.
So many. It's been, you know, what's really fun for me is we premiered at Sundance, and I was recently in Toronto at TIFF with the film, and it's been so fun to talk to people that see the movie and hear their reactions of what it means to them and what their takeaway was, because there are so many poignant, thought-provoking, beautiful messages throughout. And to me, the biggest was to just, you know, you can never say I love you too many times to the people that you love and that love you. You know, you can never be too appreciative of the people in your life. That to me was the immediate takeaway.
And I think for me, one of the most poignant aspects of the film is that you realize that at any moment of any day, you can change the rest of your life. And I think also one of the interesting themes in the film is that those people who are bullies were often bullied. And there's this horrible cycle that happens, and where do you stop that cycle?
Some great messages. I can't wait to see the movie. Thank you both.
Thank you.
And Before I Fall is in theaters this Friday.